Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, this is a very prudent video today. This is evidence and proof, if you like, that not every match quite goes to plan. I compiled here, well, this was a very annoying match, and as you can see, straight into it, and I'm being shot to death. This is pretty much the theme of today's map, is that, you know, I generally try and show you the interesting, fun, kind of, you know, crazy things that we do, but the reality, I think, is that every match you see, there's probably another match we have which is so-so or just abysmal like this. So this is one of those matches where I just kept getting gunned down. I was not particularly on my game this day. I was feeling pretty ill as well, so I think just generally my psyche was not on my side here, because I just was like, fucking hell, I hate this game. I don't, obviously, of course, but I just think it was one of these wonderful days where nothing really works, and no matter where you're running, no matter what you're trying to do, the tactic you're trying to, you know, run on, some bastard has got an AR trained on you at every fucking point. So anyway, and that's pretty much the subtext of it. I may even call it that, an AR trained on you at every point, because it does feel that at the moment, you know, you're pretty much stupid if you don't run anything like an AR. I'm joking, of course I'm joking. I mean, I think the game would die within minutes if everybody ran AR, but it does feel that the power of those bleeding things is quite significant. So I run AR myself, but I don't enjoy AR. I think AR to me is very much a kind of getting the job done kind of weapon, whereas the shotgun is for kind of, you know, fun. It's the mullet of guns, I like to think of the shotgun. It's all business at the front, party at the rear, and I think that's kind of the way I run it. To be honest, it's an interesting kind of scenario, because I really do think that sometimes this game will just chew you up, and it will make you just rage, because, you know, just like that, you know, I mean, those three guys were hacking the supply point. I should have been able to kill one of them, shouldn't I? I mean, even my orbitals are just crap today. So just generally, I think, you know, it's one of those, I guess, you know, times of the month, maybe, where it just doesn't work. And you're just kind of annoyed. So there we go, look at this, boom, and, you know, in theory, that shouldn't be the problem, but they're coming through remote explosives now, come on. And not just any remote explosives, Aurum remote explosives in a pub match. It really is one of those days. So here we go, easy kill here, surely an easy kill here. No, you know, just missing. And again, the shotgun is one of these things where it's not necessarily the gun's fault that I'm missing, it's me. I'm getting angry, I'm not kind of on my game, I'm not really thinking, and when you kind of get frustrated with the game, you're more kind of jerky in your movements. So there we go. But no, anyway, I think today was really just to show you that everybody has bad days. It's not the game's fault, it's your fault. But again, there's nothing wrong with that. No, so don't feel that there's anything wrong with just, you know, having one of them days. So here we go, another one. This guy just completely was wiping me out with, you know, SMG and AR, and it's just that kind of player that you hate, because you just know all they're doing is stacking massive amounts of hit points, and they're just spamming, you know, shells at you, no particular skill, they're just trying to kill you. Using the easy mode, and I just don't like that. I think ARs in this game are never going to be nerfed, because can you imagine the drama that would come from that? Although, having said that, the new AR changes do look like they're going to do something, but I'll tell you now, they're never going to nerf the AR, just because it is pretty much the bread and butter gun of the game. Things like shotguns are just there for fancy show-off kind of stuff, really. I think the, you know, stuff like ARs, stuff like HMGs, they're kind, and SMGs, they're really the kind of staple of Dust, which I think is a massive shame. And I really hope these new AR variants, rail rifles, you know, the what is it, the machine gun, I guess they call it. I hope they become absolutely, you know, key and central to the game, because I'd love to see more variety, because at the moment it just feels everybody has high rate of fire, high spamming guns, and there's no real skill, they're just spraying in your general direction. And unfortunately, in a scout suit with only about 400 hit points, and a Devol which is kicking out what, 35, 40, you know, points per hit, and it's firing out, you know, many hundreds of rounds a minute, it's dead. That's the simple. There's no skill there. It's just the fact that you're spamming a wall of lead that's going to get me, you know, whereas a shotgun requires a good shot, mass driver requires a good shot, plasma cannon requires balls of steel. So it's that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, I'm not moaning about it, I think that's just the game. To be honest, I was playing Battlefield 4 last night for the first time, and oh my god, what a weird game that is. It's just, I mean, this like dust on steroids, but in a bad way, because there's no, human life in that game is not sacrosanct at all. Nobody's even considering protecting and looking after their bodily bodily person, because they're just literally throwing themselves into the thing. Got killed, dead. Got killed, dead. Got killed, dead. And it's like, oh really? I was so thinking this because it'll be a bit more like Armor 2. I'm actually a bit disappointed, to be honest, but I'll persevere. I've got the shotgun now in that game, and it's all right. Anyway, so I think this is where I really do see the value of dust now, because I think you don't see this kind of reckless abandon that is just front and center in other games. In this game, you can't do that because obviously ISK is everything. So it's a funny one, and I think every so often you'll have a match like this where it just goes absolutely tits up. Tits up is a British saying. It's actually a technical saying that means basically everything goes wrong. So try and incorporate that into your daily vocabulary. Tits up. It's all gone tits up, said the Pope to the vicar. So it's a funny one. I think, as it stands at the moment, though, the match is still kind of going our way. So I think this is again a kind of good example of perseverance being king. If you have ever done PC battles, which we did certainly some time ago, it doesn't matter, obviously, the losses you take, the ISK you lose. It's all about, just grinding that win. And I think this is very Eve-like. Eve is just an absolute stickler for this kind of gameplay, where you will throw away thousands and thousands of ships in a fleet fight that could last hours. But at the end of the day, if you win the system, then hey, it's all good. And that is literally the way it is. PC is probably exactly the same. It doesn't matter how much ISK you throw at it. If you keep the district, then hey, you've kept bragging rights. And that's really all you're playing for at the end of the day. You're playing for a little icon on a map that doesn't mean anything. I think certainly with things like this, we're playing for a map which has no significance, which doesn't mean anything, etc. But again, I think it was just one of these matches where everybody was deadly accurate, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I'm sort of trying to do my shotgun stuff, and just doesn't work. And I was just amazed at how good shots these people were, and how many people were running AR and a kind of tanked assault suit. It does feel that is certainly the fit of the month. But here we go, that's the way it is. Sometimes you still get the odd shot on somebody like that, and that makes it all worthwhile. But I still enjoy this game so much, and I think it's one of these kind of things where you just have to grind the results out. And even look at that, even when you think you've got a result there, you end up messing it up, and it all goes kind of wrong anyway. So there we go. This is a great example of sometimes, when I show these videos, I show you the highlights, and I thought, what, this time I'll show you a bad match. And that to me was a bad match, even though we still won and I got a fair few kills. To me, that was a lot of loss, because I was running pretty much prototype exclusively. So even though I got 20 kills, some of them from orbitals, but even though I got that, and I got 12 deaths, which is a staggering amount, 14 deaths, so it's a staggering amount of loss right there. Anyway, we'll bring you more of these. I think, I've had some matches where I've lost like 4 dropships in a round, and I'll bring you some of them, and I'll try and maybe include some comms with them, because there's certainly a lot of rage that happens when you lose about 5 million ISK in a round. So we'll certainly try to bring you that. Anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Certainly more to come soon. See you next time.